What's going on, everybody? We're back, episode number 3. We had a crazy week. A lot of crazy stuff happened over the last couple of days with the NBA. It wasn't even the first couple of like when was free agency like declared? Like when did free agency actually literally start? Like it was Tuesday, but was it like at 6 or something like that?
I think it
Tuesday
was
at five
Tuesday.
or
It was
something.
Tuesday at 6.
Yeah.
Okay,
And then
five,
like
six.
literally the second the clock hit that time period, everything just started happening. Like everybody's moving here and there. I think we got the Kyle Lowry move. A whole bunch of just crazy stuff happened in such a short period of time. And we really
Yeah.
we were putting in a lot of work. Blake was like mega tweeting,
Man,
when with
I
all
was
those.
getting them because they kept on coming. I was getting them out like
Man,
three,
yeah.
four, 5 times at a tweet.
It was at least 10 tweets you sent me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Blake sent like 10 tweets. It was crazy. But I don't know. Have we seen anything like this with free agency? Like where it at that, like literally as soon as it started, all those moves? Because I remember everything happened so fast. It was really crazy.
Nah, as soon as it hit free agency, you saw somewhere someone sign over there, over there,
Mhm.
over there. A minute later, oh, they got him.
Yeah,
Ooh, somebody got traded. Boom, boom. It was so fast.
yeah,
Bleacher Report couldn't even keep up with it low key.
yeah. I,
And
I I remember when I was walking back to my apartment, I was like, I'm wondering how Bleacher Report is loading all this stuff up so fast without any typos. It was really crazy,
yeah,
but yeah, I mean, a lot of stuff. It's definitely going to be an exciting season next season with all the moves that happen. You
yeah.
guys in the comments and in our followers and everything, you guys are asking some great questions. And swiping up with some great stuff with our posts. So with that being said, we're going to get into our first question from our follower. Today we're going to do two. So go ahead and take it away, Carl.
All right, people. We got a question from Diego from Snapchat, and he said, how good will DeRozan fit with the Bulls?" It's a good question.
It is a good question. You got something on that one, Blake? You want to start off?
Uh, I say first of all, it gives them some more scoring. Gives them another what's the word I'm looking for? Dimension in their offense.
Mhm.
Also another lob threat for Zoe.
Yeah.
I think all in all, I think that I did not expect the Bulls to make this many moves like this early in the free agency. I thought they was gonna kind of be quiet. I didn't really believe like the Lonzo Walker. I didn't believe the Lonzo rumors once they got him and they started talking about getting they started talking about getting DeRozan. I didn't believe that either, and it
Mhm.
happened. So they really surprised me. I think he'll be a good fit.
Yeah.
I really wanted him to go to Miami, but I think he'll probably fit better in Chicago.
Yeah, for sure. I think you mentioned it being another dimension offensively. I think he can be a great like secondary playmaker. Like one part of his game he grew last season was his playmaking. I think he averaged 7 assists a game, which was definitely a career high for him. May have been a career high. I can't. It sounds
I
like a
think it
career high.
was career. It
Yeah,
was career.
for sure. And I think, I'm not sure who their backup point guard is right now. I know I think Archie Diakono, was included in some type of trade or something. I'm not sure if he's going to be there, but, let's say there's times where Lonzo isn't on the court. He's a great secondary playmaker. He's got a lot of experience, another shot creator. Let's say Zach LaVine's a volume shooter next season. And I don't know if we look at Zach LaVine as a volume shooter. Would you say,
No,
Carl?
no,
Yeah.
he's pretty efficient. He's pretty
Yeah.
efficient.
But let's say he's having an off night. DeRozan is a guy who can pick up the slack. I think him being a great mid-range player, once again, to Blake's point about just adding another dimension to the offensive side of things, it just makes things interesting. So I
Yeah.
think it's going to be a very interesting fit. Billy Donovan's going to have a lot of fun with these lineups.
Yeah.
What are we going to say, Carl?
I think he's a good fit. I'm just concerned about because he isn't really known for shooting threes that well, and he really doesn't shoot them for real. But he's a hell of a mid-range shooter, so he has that going for him. But I don't know. I'm just optimistic about like how they're really going to use Kobe White. Is he just going to be a shooter now? Is he like not going to handle the ball at all? And so he from North Carolina too. So that's my team. So I
Sure,
was
boy.
yeah, they can't do us. They can't do us like that, bro. But I don't know. Hopefully, they figure out a way to integrate him into the offense without him like feeling like he doesn't belong there.
Yeah,
But yeah, I think it'll be a decent fit for the
yeah,
Bulls. They might. I can see them being 8 seed, maybe 7 seed, maybe play in type of
Ooh,
area.
you put him that low?
yeah.
Yeah, I don't put them.
I think this makes them. I honestly think it makes them top five. Like you look at them talent wise, top to bottom. And one thing too, you get Lonzo Ball, and I know the question was about DeRozan, but you get Lonzo Ball automatically. I think that makes you 10 times better defensively. He's one of the better point guard defensive players in the game. And obviously getting a guy like DeMar DeRozan, with his playoff experience, and with his scoring skill set and all of that, it makes you that much more better offensively. And to Carl's point about Kobe White, that is going to be interesting seeing how they're going to use him. I was personally surprised that Kobe White and Larry Markkinen weren't included in any of the trades. Like,
me too.
Yeah,
I was surprised Markkinen. I thought for sure Markkinen.
Yeah, they still kept him, so that's good.
Yeah,
I think he's a free agency. I think he's a free agent though.
He was restricted, but the signing trade, like I don't think I've seen this many signing trades happen. So I was excited.
Yeah.
Not excited, but I was very surprised that he wasn't included in any signing trade scenarios or anything. But to Carl's point, I'm interested to see how they'll use Kobe White. Maybe back in that backup point guard role. Obviously, it's going to be something to where he comes off the bench and he's like a spark. I remember somebody asking me about their depth and all of that, because they did lose Al-Farouq Aminu, and they did lose Thaddeus Young in the trade too. But I think Kobe White's role is going to be much different than what it was. He's definitely going to be kind of pushed to the side to kind of be like a spark off of the bench. I don't see him cracking that starting lineup at all. I think you're looking at Lonzo Levine, DeMar, maybe Patrick Williams and Nikola Vucevic. I stuttered like a mug.
I forgot about him.
Yeah.
I forgot about Vucevic.
I was just about to say that's who y'all forgetting.
Yeah, my bad. Yeah, they a 6 seed. My fault. Yeah.
That's a squad. That's a squad, and also you have, as I mentioned, Billy Donovan. Players really like him. He's known as one of the better player coaches in the league. So I think it's going to be fun to watch. I definitely think they're going to find a way to integrate DeMar DeRozan into that offense. And they're literally in a situation where they can have 3 guys scoring 20 points or more, and not a lot of teams can say that. So I think it's a very, very interesting fit. Yeah. They may be at the top of my watch list for next season. I don't know about you guys.
Yeah,
they're definitely up there. Definitely up there. Along with, I say in the East, it's probably them, New York, Miami, of course, Brooklyn. I'll say Charlotte too.
Yeah.
I really like Book Knight's game, but I doubt he'll start. But
Book Knight.
Yeah. I think they'll be a team to watch.
For sure.
The East is going to be fun. I say that.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to some lobs from Lonzo to Zach LaVine.
Yeah, dude.
Lobs. I'm looking forward to that. That's I'm not even a Bulls fan. I never liked the Bulls. Never really cared about them, to be honest.
He's got two of some of the most athletic wings on his team, bro. That's crazy to think about.
I might have to change Lonzo's name to Mr. Increment Man to something more.
Yeah, he could.
For the people that know at home, I feel like Lonzo, they always, with his stats, they always say, look what he's done in the last 10 games. So I feel like, I don't know. But I ain't go.
He's still improved.
But he's definitely gotten better. I'll give him credit.
I got him. I actually have him being an all-star snub this year. I don't think he's going to be an all-star, but I think he's going to be a snub. And I think he's going to make all defense. I'm calling it.
You're not the only person that said that, actually. I heard that on TV a lot.
Yeah. We got up next year. What are you saying, Blake?
I wouldn't be surprised. I predict he'll make all defense. He should have made it last year.
Yeah. They should have been much better than what they were last year with that.
Hey, if his dad don't say nothing, he'll be all right.
Yeah. LeVar.
His dad be putting a chip on his shoulder.
Mm-hmm.
But
next up.
I think they'll be 6 seed. No, I was just gonna say I forgot about Vucevic. I think they'll be 6 seed, but I can't.
Sure.
I still put them top 5. I can't put them outside. Yeah. I can't think of 3-4 other teams that'll be better than them next year.
Yeah.
Well, we can think. Let's name the teams real quick. We can name some.
Philly,
Miami,
Philly, Atlanta, Miami, Boston, Brooklyn. What is that? That's 5.
Maybe the Knicks.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe.
The Knicks would be good as hell next year. Who else? Indiana's iffy.
Indiana's gonna be bad for.
I already know what Carl gonna say.
I wasn't gonna say him. No.
I forgot about.
No, we saving. We're
saving it. We're saving
the Wizards.
Yeah, they should definitely be able to skip into that top. I'd be surprised if they don't end the season off top 6. They definitely have a top 10 roster in the league right now, so they should definitely.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So the next question is from Kobe Not Wanted. That's his name on Snapchat. He was basically asking what chance do you give the Heat to match up with the Lakers if they meet them in the finals or something in the playoffs?
So the question basically, what are the chances that Miami ends up seeing LA in the finals?
Yeah, and what can they match up with them if so?
Oh, that's a good question. I think they can definitely match up with them. I don't think they're going to beat. Let's say in the East is going to be tough because I remember just putting out a snap about this. I think from a roster, I think they can definitely take any team out East in 7 games, or take them to 7 games. It's going to be tough, and some people are going to be like, "Oh, Brooklyn, if they're healthy." But I think this team defensively, I mean, it's going to be tough. But is Brooklyn just straight up unbeatable team? They may be unbeatable next. They may be unbeatable next season in the playoffs. Let's say they're all healthy and they get a crap ton of playing time together. It may be tough to stop them, But I mean, outside of Brooklyn, I can see them making a nice run. I mean, Brooklyn, I think they can compete with them and give them like 6 or 7. If I was a betting man, though, I'm thinking they're not going to get past the Nets, though, because that's just too much firepower. And I think at that point in time, they have a lot of chemistry and a lot of court time together, So, I mean, think about how good they were when they didn't have a bunch of court time together. So I think it'll be tough to get past.
I don't know if I put them past Milwaukee or
Brooklyn.
I'm thinking of somebody else I forgot. I don't know if I put them past Milwaukee either.
Yeah.
Or the Hawks.
Yeah, or the Hawks.
I think they're definitely better than the Hawks. Because I mean, I'm trying to think what big move did the Hawks make.
Well, they re-signed Collins, and that's
right. But my thing is, I feel like Cam Reddish might be better next year.
Yeah, I really hope I'm kind of torn on them because I know they said they was going to trade him, but one part of me doesn't want them to, and another part of me does because I know he can. I know he can really hoop. And I'd like to see him get an opportunity somewhere else to show people that. You saw it in that series versus the Bucks. You gave him the minutes.
Last 3 games.
Yep, he performed. So I don't know. Either way, I want to see him hoop either way.
And also there's DeAndre Hunter too. He may be back and healthy.
Yeah.
But I mean, is that better than a healthy Heat roster though? Like you're thinking about your starting lineup is Kyle Lowry, Jimmy Butler, Bam Adebayo, Victor Oladipo, maybe if he's healthy. That's a stacked lineup,
Is Oladipo staying?
Yeah, they just re-signed him to another year.
Oh no, Tyler Hero probably
Tyler Hero's there, Duncan Robinson's there, so
Yeah, they probably. It'd be a good series though.
Yeah.
So Miami starting lineup? You got Lowry, Jimmy Butler, Oladipo, Bam.
Hero.
There's not much size there, so they'll definitely go small. So let's say they put
Hero. Hero has to start probably.
Yeah.
Jeez,
I mean, I can see some really small ball lineups where Butler's probably like playing the 4 or something like that. I don't know. I can see something like that happening. So.
They don't have no choice because Bam not as tall as people think to be playing the position he is.
And they traded Achua, so there go. They don't have much size at all. But no,
I don't understand that.
Small ball at its finest.
But it makes sense when you're trying to get back a guy like Kyle Lowry, though. So
yeah, but still, you're kind of thin at the big, so I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, I'm
just pointing out their lineup like that, like what the hell they go do with Giannis?
Yeah, you stick Bam on. I think what happened was I think Bam is still a good Giannis defender. I think what happened in that series against Milwaukee was they literally took every good defensive game plan they had from that remember last season's playoff series against. They literally took every good defensive game plan and didn't do it this year. Like they didn't stick Bam on Giannis at all in that first round this season. Like, so, I still think defensively they're going to be fine. I think they managed to have a small ball lineup the last couple of years and still be good on the defensive end. Like Bam's been there. Bam's probably been the tallest guy on the court 9 out of 10 times the last 2 seasons. And they've still been one of the better defensive teams in the NBA. So I definitely think they can compete with Milwaukee. I think their number one stopping point is Brooklyn though. Because as I said, you think about Brooklyn, let's say they're fully healthy next season, and they've had that playing time together for the entirety of the year, they're going to be tough to beat. But I think they can easily match up with Milwaukee. I think Eric Spoelstra did. I thought game planning was really bad as far as them getting beat by Milwaukee this season. So.
Yeah, that defense.
Don't say really bad. Say it.
It sucked. It sucked.
Yeah, it was. They didn't know when to play man or zone. They were like. Yeah,
I told you they tricked all of us after that first game. I thought that series gonna be good.
No, it did. Didn't that game? Yeah, didn't that game come down to Chris Middleton hitting a shot?
He hit a shot in overtime. That should have been a 7-game series for sure. That should have been.
And then they beat their ass the next.
Yeah, but then also on top of it, you look at Miami. Like last season, offensively, they weren't really a good team. Like now, you get Kyle Lowry. He's I think he makes you 10 times better offensively. You know, I mean, how much of an upgrade is he from Goran Dragic? That's a question. But I think he's a little bit
Pretty
more.
good one.
Yeah, and I think he's a little more. You think he's a little more battle tested and proven in the playoffs relative to Dragic. You know, so I like the pickup a lot. I think it makes Miami a fun team to watch, and I think it definitely bumps them up a couple spots in the East.
Yep.
You know, so
20 point per game scored.
Yeah,
for real. Even though he averaged 17 last year or 18, close to 18, he's really a 20-point game scorer. That's just him. Yeah, I think their offense would be like so much. Yeah, he is 36, though. That's the thing.
Yeah.
But I don't even know how he got so old that fast. I don't know.
Yeah, he was in the league. He's been in the league for a minute. Yeah.
Hey, the league getting old, bro. Like Kevin Durant, like 33 stuff, 32 or whatever, how old he is. It's just getting crazy.
Yeah.
Steph, how old is Steph? Like 34? 33.
Yeah.
33. But yeah, I think their offense would be. I think he's better than Goran Dragic. I think their offense would be a little bit more fluent, and he's more of a threat. I think because Goran Dragic, I feel like he's hurt a lot sometimes, so they never really can get him into the offense smoothly. So yeah,
and he's good. I think it's just much. I think it's it just comes down to who's a better player. That's what that trade was all about, and I think Larry just brings a lot more to the table. I think he's a much better playoff performer. Even though a couple years ago when the bubble happened, Goran Dragic was probably the best player, the best point guard in the playoffs, that season. But I think it was an upgrade, and I'm definitely optimistic to see what Miami does. They definitely had a hell of a free agency, and if there's something else they want to do, we'll see what happens. But that's all I got for that one.
Yeah, it was a lot of signing trades, like you said.
Yeah.
My question probably would be. Wait, no, I asked this before the Heat thing. Where do you see them being ranked in the East? You got to put some money on it.
Yeah. If I put money on it, what do you say? What do you say?
The Heat. Yeah, the Heat.
Probably.
I'm talking about the Heat.
Probably top 4. I'd be surprised if they weren't top 4 because their core has been together for a long time. Like you still have that core of Jimmy Butler and Bam, and you added a couple of really good pieces. They should be a top 4 team. And you also have to remember last season, when people called him a fluke, you got to remember last season, Jimmy Butler was out for a good amount of time with COVID. A lot of teams had inconsistent rosters because of the virus and all of that, so now, we're looking at a situation where everybody's back, everyone's healthy. The team is going to have a lot more court time together. Yeah, they should be. I'd be surprised if they weren't a top 5 team. That should be where they're at. I say I put them at like 3 or 4 or 5, somewhere in between those 3.
I say 3. I think anything less than, I say 3.
Yeah.
3. I'd honestly be surprised if they were like 4 or 5. Mm-hmm. I don't even want to go lower than that because.
Yeah, I agree.
I see 3, and the thing is, in the playoffs, 3 versus 6. I see them first facing the Bulls in the first round.
God, that'd be
serious. I feel like that's definitely going to happen.
Dude,
them or the Knicks, something like that. But I feel like the Knicks would be 4 for some reason.
New York is going to be good as hell next season. They made some great moves, but
Philly. I forgot about Philly. See, Philly be making me mad. I don't know.
You don't know how to measure them.
No, I don't, because I was believing them. I remember telling Ty, before the start of the playoffs, I was like, I think they can beat the Nets. I think they can beat the Bucks, and look what happened.
Yeah.
I'm done believing in them.
They got to show me. They're like a Kanye album. I got to see it to believe it. I ain't gonna make no. I ain't got no
coming out tonight either, people. I'm just letting you know.
I ain't got no more. I ain't got no more predictions for Philly. Philly fans, y'all on your own with that. I'll see it when I believe it. But
you know what they're gonna do.
Same thing. They call that. You know what they call that city? Finger pointing. That's what all they do. Blame other people.
Oh my God, they do. You Ben was an issue, but Ben won your number 1 issue. But Miami's gonna be fun to watch. Definitely a contender. I think we all agree on this pretty much. Basically, if I'm wrong, let me know if I'm wrong. Brooklyn is their major stopping point. I know Blake mentioned Milwaukee too. I think those are really just the 2 teams it comes down to. Obviously a lot of stuff happened. The news came super, super fast. To me, or to you guys, what do you think was the best signing? What team had the best couple of days of free agency so far?
Man, you already know mine. Blake, you can go ahead first.
Carl gonna talk about that old senior citizen home they got.
Oh my God.
Let's talk about him. Remember, we talk about, if you go back the last couple episodes, and even with our mock episodes, whenever we mention the Lakers in the offseason, we talk about how much space they didn't have to sign anybody. Now you look at every single addition that they made: Dwight Howard, Malik Monk, Come on, Carl. Who else am I missing?
Kendrick Nunn, Carmelo Anthony. I can
Yeah.
keep going.
Russ was in a trade,
We
but
got
still,
another one. Somebody else. Oh, Wayne Ellington. That's another one.
Trevor Reza.
Trevor Reza. That's snipers.
Yeah. So
Y'all might as well give us a trophy for real.
100%. It's like every.
I
It's
give y'all a cane.
Here you go. You said a cane.
He said a cane.
Walker.
All right.
But no, yeah, I mean, I really thought cap was going to be an issue. I didn't think they were going to be able to sign this many free agents. And on top of them surprising everybody with everyone they signed, think about this too. Every issue with the Lakers the last 2 seasons just got solved in 2 days, right? One thing we said about them the last couple of years is they're not a great three-point shooting team. Carl said Wayne Ellington and Trevor Reza. And who else was it? Somebody else is a really good three-point shooter that they just picked up. Malik Monk shot 40% from three. I think he went from like 20.
Wayne Ellington did too.
Yeah, so they're better as a three-point shooting team.
Who did Ellington play for?
Melo shot 40.
Yeah, Melo did. That's why I keep forgot. Why did I not mention Melo? You said what, Blake?
I said, who did Ellington play for last year?
Detroit. He was with Detroit last season. He was a sniper for them. But they got better as a three-point shooting team. Then a lot of people talked about their lack of a legitimate like third option scorer. Now who do they get? They get Russell Westbrook. And then off the bench, let's say Westbrook is out some nights, we have Malik Monk, who's a proven solid bench scorer. He did it last season with Charlotte. And then also Kendrick Nunn, if you want to have him in the rotation. I mean, it'll be interesting to see if he's going to be in the rotation because we've seen Frank Vogel. Remember with
people.
Yeah, remember his new nickname is DNP Man because he would DNP your ass something vicious. He did it with Deion Waiters, J.R. Smith. Remember we was hype after they got signed in the bubble and they didn't play at all.
Didn't play.
I forgot they was on that team. So they mysteriously showed up.
They nickname for Deion Waiters is hilarious to me.
What is it? Gummy bear?
It's cheese. No, it's cheese or something. I don't know.
Oh yeah.
They call him cheese.
Something stupid, but yeah, I mean, every single issue they had got solved, and I think the most interesting thing about it is the lineup. They're such a deep team, and nobody goes 10 deep in the playoffs at all. Like Carl mentioned it to me before. I remember I made a point about somebody not having a deep enough bench, and then Carl was like, "Well, you're really only going to use like 8 guys in the play." Yeah, 7 or 8. So I'm interested to see who's not going to play, when it comes down to the playoffs. Is Dwight going to be out of the lineup? I can see that happening. Is Kendrick Nunn not going to be in the lineup? So it's going to be interesting seeing, who is going to be in that consistent rotation because they're definitely not going to platoon squad 5 in, 5 out every night, even though if they wanted to, they could, So that's my thoughts on it. What are your thoughts on it, Carl?
Man, at first we got on, when did we got Melo?
Was Melo y'all first? Was Melo y'all first signing?
It was our first because I think we got him.
It was
You sure? Because in the morning he posted a thing on his.
I don't think Melo was. What was he? I think he may have been.
Yeah, because he was the first one we got. Because on his Instagram or Twitter, he put Melo, and in the L he put a Lakers like emblem or whatever. And then we got him, and then we probably I don't remember who was second. It might have been Malik Monk.
Somebody could have been Wayne Ellington. Yeah, it could have been Wayne.
It wasn't. Yeah. But anyway, yeah, I was just happy with the signings. Like I thought we was gonna get Melo, but I wasn't sure because over the last like 3 or 4 years, you always heard them pairing Melo with LeBron, but it just never happened. So I just thought it was kind of some bull job or whatever. But yeah, I'm happy to get some shooters like Melo, Wayne Ellington, Kendrick Nunn, Trevor Reza came back. He can still knock down some threes. So we go be, when they try to play defense against them other dudes, we can space the floor and they can get some wide open shots because Russ, AD, and LeBron, come on.
Yeah.
Championship.
You acting like the average age for that team ain't like 33, 34 years old.
They can be 40. We still
But isn't also too when people say that, isn't that a benefit? Like that's so much experience.
It is.
Yeah.
You know why they say that?
Why?
If they was young, they would come up with another excuse, but they're old, so they're using that. It's haters. Haters go hate.
And this isn't a team full of.
I'm just saying. Sound like sound like a Los Angeles retirement home to me.
But then also on top of that, and we talked about this. I think this was the second episode. We talked about Russ after that Russ trade. This isn't a team of washed up players. at all. You know, Melo's not what he used to be. Who's washed up on his roster, Blake?
Dwight.
I mean, no, who cares? Okay, who cares?
He said, "Who cares?"
No, who cares? But even like no one's calling Melo washed up. Melo's role is different because he got older, but he's still an effective player. Whenever you're shooting 40% from the floor, you're still an effective player. You know, let's say Russ is having an off night. You know, you include Melo like in your late game rotation or whatever. He's a dude, and we saw with Portland, he can catch fire at any point in time. He's still a Hall of Famer, first ballot, everything, all those accolades. So it's a stacked team. I think their age helps them a lot more than like I would rather have a group of experienced guys, you know, than a group of. Yeah, I don't see how the age is an issue. Like people make it a joke.
See, you just said that.
Well, I mean, when your starting lineup is full of 33-year-old dudes, and that's of course somebody gonna start making some jokes, like me.
Yeah,
whatever.
But see, like if the Lakers is in the finals with this team, like the Suns lacked experience, and it kind of showed at times.
Yeah,
that's where experience comes into play at age. So
100%.
We old.
Yeah, and no one's saying that about San Antonio. Like 2014, all of them was past their primes, and they beat LeBron. You know,
they didn't say nothing.
It's
okay. You know, I'm used to this. You know, LeBron on the team. You know, they hate Russ on the team. They go have something to say about Russ. There you go. This ring
Mr. Super Team.
Yeah, now I will agree with Blake on that. This probably is the most built roster. Yeah,
Mr. Super Team.
Yeah. This definitely is LeBron's. I mean, top to bottom, like so many boxes are checked. Somebody asked me an interesting question. They said, are they still going to be good defensively? And I'm like, yeah. I mean, you know, you give up KCP, he was probably their best perimeter defender. You know, but at the end of the day, you still have Trevor Ariza out there. You know, still one of the more premier 3-and-D guys in like the last 10 years. You still got Anthony Davis, even though he wasn't as good defensively as we wanted him to be last season. You know, he's still Anthony Davis. You know, if LeBron wants to, he's going to go out there and play defense for you, you know. So I've never known Wayne Ellington to be just a flat out bad defensive player. So, and Frank Vogel is one of the better defensive coaches in the league, you know. So I think you say Russ, yeah, Russ, yeah. All you got to do is get him to buy into the system. But I think this is 110% an upgrade, one of the better roster upgrades. I think I posted this on Snapchat. Nothing bad could be said about Rob Pelinka for the next 10 years. Remember how everybody hated Rob Pelinka back in like the Lonzo days or whatever?
No, yeah, with the Magic Johnson stuff, they had like beef.
Yeah, and then now he creates, you know, this, you know, super roster basically, you know. So
yeah,
they're going to be something to watch. You know, definitely.
That's my guy now. You know, I ride with him. Ride with him.
Yeah,
ride.
Blake, what are your honest, like, non-hater thoughts about the Lakers? Like, give us your legitimate, like, basketball.
I'm not hating though.
No, give me like your legitimate basketball logistical thoughts on this Lakers team.
I don't know why y'all always think I'm hating on something.
You've been sitting there giggling the last 5 minutes.
I'm just being realistic.
You say LeBron, he say,
no, but I'll be honest. I think it's as much as it pains me to say it, it's actually a decent, well put together team. When they signed Melo, okay. First, when they made that KCP Kuzman,
Montrezl.
Montrezl Harrell.
Yeah.
I say, okay, you lose size, you lose shooting, and you lose defense. Caruso signs with the Bulls. You lose defense and shooting.
Good point, though. Good point.
Where is that coming from? And we see Melo come over. I'm like, okay. We see Malik Monk. That's the sign that kind of opened my eyes. I'm like, okay, they may be serious.
That was kind of shocking.
I was like, oh, they got Malik Monk too? Kendrick Nunn
was a shocker for me.
Kendrick Nunn got me. I was like, oh, these playing.
I was surprised about Kendrick Nunn too. They said he had some offers with more money other places. But I think when you're looking at their potential starting lineup, Ty, you said this, I think, a couple of days ago. Is nobody in the West that's really messing with them besides Golden State. And I mean, that's even if Clay is what he once was. Mm-hmm. So I think personally they're the clear favorites to win the West. Now the finals, I don't know. Yeah, that's a whole different story. But just regular season, I can't really see any hiccups.
Yeah. Really. I agree. And to your point, it'll all come down to injuries. Like I think everybody wants to see Lakers Nets finals, just like we wanted to see Lakers Nets finals last season. Of course, some BS is going to happen to not let us see that. Like I think we mentioned the Heat versus Bucks first round. It's always something with the NBA. Like I want to see this series go down to 7 or whatever, and some nonsense happens. But no, I agree. I think they're definitely the top, contenders out west. I'm glad you mentioned Golden State. Let's say they are healthy. You think about that roster. You think about the young talent they have on top of having that Steph Curry, and Klay Thompson and Draymond Green, big three. It's they're alongside with James Wiseman. I think they're their best competition out there. But to me, if you look at this Lakers squad, they just check so many boxes. The depth thing, like they probably have the best depth in the league right now. And as we talked about a little earlier, I'm not sure how many of these guys are going to consistently be in the playoff rotation, but still, this is a squad that legitimately, if they wanted to, could go play 5 in, 5 out every single night, and get effective stuff from everybody. So they're going to be scary. I'm glad you mentioned when they gave up KCP and Alex Caruso, everybody's been asking, what are they going to do about defense or whatever? But I'm glad, you go out and pick up Trevor Ariza. Kendrick Nunn's a guy who can go out there and get you some stops too. When motivated, still having AD and all of those guys. I think, like I said, Rob Pelinka was probably I don't know if he's the best GM out of free agency, but one of the two best, because there have been a lot of really good moves made. Shout out to the Lakers, big time.
Yeah. I just ask you all one thing. Can you just name the seven, maybe 8 players you think they'll play? I say 7. The 7 players you think they'll play in playoff rotation?
LeBron, AD, Nunn, Monk,
Russ.
Melo, Russ.
That's 7.
You got 7.
That's 6.
Oh.
And Ariza, I guess. And that's 7. I say either Ariza or Taylor Horton Tucker.
Oh, I forgot about
Man,
that.
does Taylor Horton Tucker fall out of rotation? And that's a good point because they extended him 3 years. So
they did for a reason. So he definitely gonna play probably.
Yeah, so it's like you extended him 3 years. Who's he getting priority over playing time wise? Because they want to have as many lineups out there that can shoot. I don't want to see a bunch of lineups where Russ is on the floor with Taylor Horton Tucker at all. So that's another very interesting dynamic. I'm glad who mentioned THT.
Blake. It was Blake.
That's a very good, interesting point. If he's in that 7-man rotation, how are they going to work things out spacing wise? Because this team is going to want, as long as AD, Russ, and Bron are on the court together, you still want as much spacing around him as possible. And I don't know how much of a leap THT makes as a catch and shoot shooter next season, but that's something that's very, very interesting and something that you definitely have to keep an eye on.
Yeah.
I'll give him playoff minutes over Ariza. Well, I wouldn't like. Well, no, yes, I would. Yeah. I like his offense and what he can bring to the table potentially defensively.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
I would probably say they would switch. This is the thing because I forgot about THT. They'd probably end up switching them 6 and 7 players a lot in the playoffs. Like Ariza might play sometimes as or 6-man might play sometimes. Like Ariza might play, THT might play, Monk or Kendrick Nunn, and they might keep switching them just to find the best one. But I can see them switching them like throughout the playoffs a lot.
Yeah, and we saw Frank Vogel do that. Like if you think about the bubble, first round Dwight got a lot of playing time. Second round, he's not in the rotation at all. So he's not in the rotation at all. I see him. So is Blake frozen for you?
No.
Okay. He's second round. He's not in the rotation at all. So we've definitely seen this type of thing happen where those playoff rotations, change a bunch. So. I'm interested to see how it all turns out, when it comes down to it. So,
yeah, I probably think, I don't know. I'm trying to figure out who would they play for like 1 through like 7, like on a consistent basis. But like I said, I really think they're going to just have them kind of just switch on and off at 6 and 7 a lot. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I think that's probably what's going to be the thing.
Yeah,
most likely.
Is Blake out for you, or am I tripping?
No, he out.
Okay, he'll come back in. Okay, I thought it was just me. We'll work it in.
Yeah, because when you asked me did he freeze, I was like, he didn't freeze for me. But then right after you said it, he didn't open up his eyes.
Yeah, he'll come back in a second. But yes, that's a very interesting point to bring up. About those guys are going to bring out in the rotation because as we mentioned, this is such a deep team, and we've seen Frank Vogel kind of play around with that all the time. So I'm definitely interested to see how it all works out. But I think at the end of the day, they're definitely the top contender, out in the Western Conference right now, barring injuries.
No doubt.
Barring injuries, and hopefully, I don't know. I was gonna say hopefully Frank Vogel manages minutes in the best way possible, but I don't even think, last season, it came down to mismanagement of minutes. I think the biggest thing
injuries.
it was just injuries. So, I think everything's gonna be all right with them. Definitely, I think that's gonna be much more of a priority. With this team. So here he comes.
That's a good point. I just don't think people forgot about the team that lives under us, the basement team. I think they forgot about them, and that's good.
Yeah.
I don't care about the Clippers. We go dust them. They had a chance. Now last year, if they would have faced us in playoffs, they might have would have beat it because the way they were playing.
Yeah.
I was kind of scared if we would have faced them. They almost went to the finals without Kawhi. So.
100%. So yeah, I think LA, elite level off season. I think once the thing that surprised me the most was how much we talked about them not having the cap space to do anything, and most of their moves are free agent signings. And a whole bunch of people willing to take these pay cuts, to come. Like Kendrick Nunn taking that pay cut to come. These guys really want to win, and that goes back to that point about people. Or players now realizing it's about winning at the end of the day. Guys want to win championships. It's not about this individual accolade thing anymore. So when I see Kendrick Nunn take less, and when I see guys like that take less to come to this environment to win games and ultimately try to win a championship, I think it's refreshing for the league, to know that that's still a priority, because there are still people out there thinking that players primarily care about themselves or whatever. So very, very interesting stuff there. LA had a great offseason, and I'm interested to see what they're able to do during the regular season. Another team I want to talk about, and I mentioned it to y'all in the chat, was the Utah Jazz. Had a very underrated offseason. And y'all started making fun of, I think Blake made a Rudy Gobert comment or something like that. They said,
yes, I did. Yes, I did.
He said he needed to teach Rudy Gobert to play basketball or something. But
yes, I did.
Let's look at what they did. They traded, I think, a draft pick to get Eric Pascal from the Warriors, which I thought was a steal. I could be wrong about that trade. I could be completely wrong about that trade. Did they just give?
I think it was a draft. It was a draft. No, I think it was like cash considerations.
Mm-hmm. And then a draft pick for Eric Pascal.
Yeah, that's hilarious. Cash considerations.
But they gave up cash considerations.
They gave him a bag of cash. Tell him get the hell.
All right, come on. But yeah, no, but getting Eric Pascal and then also signing Rudy Gay. I think it was to a 2-year contract.
Yeah.
I think they signed Rudy Gay to a 2-year contract. The thing that stands out the most to me is now they can go small and then still be effective defensively. Their biggest issue last season is they couldn't go with small ball lineups, and it didn't work with them. So you look at the Clippers, when they would run their small ball offense, Rudy Gobert wasn't, your guy out there on the court. Who are we sticking in?
Ass up.
Yeah, like Derek Favors wasn't a good small ball big man from a defensive standpoint. So now, let's say your late game lineup, it looks a lot better. Rudy Gobert can play, or Rudy, I keep switching them up. Rudy Gay is a good small.
Oh, you talking? Yeah, Rudy Gay.
Yeah, Rudy Gay is a good small ball defensive player. Pascal can do that as well. So I think there weren't a lot of blockbuster moves, but I think the moves they made from a systematic standpoint are definitely going to help a lot more, to where I think they can still be pretty effective. Do you want me to admit this new one, Blake?
Yeah, that's the new one. That was my computer.
Okay. Want me to let you in?
Yeah.
Okay. But no, I think, like I said, they weren't big time blockbuster moves, but what they were able to do was help themselves from a basketball standpoint. And now I think they can run that small ball lineup, and I think it's going to help them defensively, moving forward in big playoff series, because small ball is like the way to go offensively now. And I don't think now you can just straight up exploit this team on the defensive end because of those moves that they just made.
Oh, you can. Yeah. You can.
But could you do it like you did last season?
Because always a way.
Yeah, but could you do it like last season? Because what was Utah's small ball defensive lineup last year versus what is going to be this year?
Well, I say last season there was no way in the world they should have had Rudy Gobert out there in small ball.
Exactly. So now they have the bodies and they have the personnel to be able to play that type of way. So I think very, very underrated offseason from Utah, and I say offseason as if it's done already, but very, very underrated free agency or last couple of days or whatever for the Jazz. Because I think they solved a lot of basketball issues themselves too.
My only thing with Utah, like it's with a lot of teams. They want a lot of teams try to be Golden State so bad. They just chuck up too many threes.
Yeah.
So at times when you miss them and other teams hit them or they go inside on you, you're gonna lose.
Mm-hmm.
That's part of the reason they lost to me too. They were just taking bad shots after
Yeah, they
bad
did.
shots. So
Rockets,
that was a lot to
Rockets
do with it
20.
too.
You said
Yeah,
what, Craig?
they played like the
I said
Rockets. Oh,
Rockets 2018. Anyone?
Yeah.
a
And
little bit.
hopefully when you bring in Rudy Gay, hopefully some of his experience helps out. I'm not saying this is an inexperienced group, but he's another shot creator who's very, very mature, and can be effective out there. And I think,
Yeah,
so I'm interested to see how it all works out. I think the biggest brag, or the biggest thing Utah can brag about out of this offseason was how much better I think they got defensively. They were already a great defensive team, but I don't know if that lineup was built for the modern style NBA offense. So, we'll see what happens with it. But
yeah,
I think Utah had a very, very underrated offseason.
yeah. They got Jeff Green too.
They
Uncle
did
Jeff.
get Jeff Green. Again, Jeff Green signing another guy you can run with those small ball lineups, late in games
Yeah.
in the playoff.
Shoot threes.
So, yep, another shot creator out there. So,
Nets should
yeah,
have kept him.
I agree.
Yeah. But yeah, I would say what? See I think one of the trades that kind of went under the radar, signing trades actually, it was a lot of them. I think one of the signing trades that went under the radar was Kimba. That
Yeah,
was a nice one. That
yeah,
was a nice one because they needed a point, like a kind of a point guard, or even whatever position, just a guard in general that can just score.
mhm.
He can still do that.
Yeah, and they got him. It was 8 million a year. I think 8 million in 1 year so
Yeah,
far.
yeah,
It was they got him at 8 million for 1 year. The Thunder are buying his contract out. They're still working out the details with him. But yeah, to your point, and why I said, I think New York is going to be really good this season. We looked at him last year, and especially in the playoffs, the Hawks were able to stagnate that offense. Now they're in a situation where they have two legitimate shot creators. They also got Evan Fournier, who they just snatched away from Boston. Who I
yeah.
think Boston had
They
a
didn't even
horrible offseason.
Boston didn't even
Yeah,
try. They just let him go. I was
yeah. And there's still time to make something happen, but you just, you just let Evan Fournier go. And
yeah,
but still no, like if you're New York, now you have two legitimate shot creators. It gives you a big time boost offensively, and you didn't lose anything at all from a defensive standpoint. You can
yeah,
still be this great defensive team. They brought back Alec Burks. So there are like four legitimate bucket getters that you can put out there late in games. Emmanuel quickly as well. Who knows if Mitchell Robbins is going to be in the lineup? Not saying he's much of a creator, but I think he's a good player to include in like lineups, with Kemba Walker or whatever. So,
and
I think their
yeah,
roster is well built. I think offensively they got 10 times better. And people got to remember Kemba, the analysis on Kemba right now is really weird because he didn't have a great stint in Boston. Kemba is still a great scoring point guard. He's one of the better scoring minded point
yeah,
guards in the league.
yeah. Because
Yeah.
my thing is with Boston, like it's been a current theme, like for guards, they just never really seemed comfortable. Even though like Kyrie had good times and spurts with the Celtics, to me he really never seemed very comfortable in an offense because they have so many like forwards and like forward/guards that handle the ball and
Mhm.
score. So a guard that's used to scoring like Kemba isn't comfortable just in that offense, just sitting in the corner,
Yeah.
not getting the ball. So it's gonna
Exactly.
be off when he gets the ball a lot. But
Yeah.
I think you mentioned the Celtics have a disappointing offseason so far because it just started. I think they should have tried to sign a Trey Lonzo. They need a point guard.
I
I
agree.
think.
I agree. I think I don't know how many runs they made at him. Because I think
I don't think any.
they
I don't know
definitely
if
had
they
a
make
good
any.
pitch to him. Like, why wouldn't he want to go down there to play with Jalen
I
Brown?
don't know.
But I think they dropped the ball on Lonzo. They dropped the ball on Lonzo Ball. As you mentioned, they definitely should have tried to get a point guard who can kind of facilitate, because the entire Jalen Brown, Jason Tatum era, they never really had a great point guard, right? Excuse me, they had three great point guards. They never had a great playmaking point guard. Kemba Walker is a scoring minded guard. Kyrie Irving is a scoring minded guard. I don't think Kyrie's ever averaged over 6 assists in his career.
Yeah.
Isaiah Thomas, same way. Isaiah Thomas was before Tatum got there, but still, Blake, flip your camera. But still,
This.
but yeah, man, I definitely think, Kimba was a great pickup for him. I think New York could end up possibly looking at another maybe top 6, top 5 seeding out east. I don't see them. There's no way they fall back from what they were last season. They only got better.
Yeah, no way.
No way at all. They only got better to me on both ends of the ball. Everything they needed to improve on, they improved on by signing just these 2 guys. And also bringing back Derrick Rose, too, who was probably their most reliable offensive player in the playoffs.
Yeah. So, Blake, what do you think about the Kemba going to the Knicks? Like it, love it?
I like it. It gives them more depth at point, which they needed last season. Also, more scoring too.
Mm-hmm.
Alongside, we don't even have to talk about Kemba too. Fournier too.
Mm-hmm.
He gives them more scoring too, which they really needed. Because I mean, looking back to last season, who was their main scorers? Barrett, Rose,
Julius Randle.
Randle.
And once they kind of got in Randle, he really couldn't do anything because they like kind of just trapping him in a way. So it gives him more offensive weapons, and I like that. I feel like they're still gonna lose in the second round, but at least they'll lose with some dignity.
Yeah.
And fans a little crazy though.
Yeah, their fans are definitely crazy. They're gonna be crazy next season. They're gonna be thinking they're gonna win the whole thing. Yeah.
I know y'all out there remember that Trae Young stuff. That was so overreacted.
Man, that was hilarious.
Why they were so angry at that dude?
Well, when you take something from somebody for such a long time, like when success, like when you take success from somebody and they get
they never been successful.
Yeah. Well, that's not the league's. That's not the league's fault. If they want to get mad at somebody, get mad at the team.
Yeah, when you take success from somebody for such a long time, that they don't know how to react to it once they get it
back. They don't know how to act.
Yeah, I don't know how to act. So shout out to my Knicks fans. I love y'all. And y'all had a great season last year. I enjoyed watching you guys. And I definitely think you took a step up on the ladder. You're not going to win the finals though. But yeah, it was they made some they made some great moves at the end of the day. Yeah. So yeah.
I mean, it's the truth.
It is the truth.
Yeah, it's just the way he said it. He was like, yeah, shout out to my Knicks fans. And then he just showed me, I ain't making finals though, but shout out to you.
Yeah.
I'll put money that the Knicks don't make the finals in the next 15 years.
I thought he was about to say 50.
How about, yeah, dang.
I was about to say that too, but I say 15. I'll put money on that.
Who knows, though?
Never knew the Bucks made it. The Raptors made it and won. I never expected the Raptors to win a championship ever. Yeah,
you never know because, as we always say, the NBA is 100% situational, so you never really know what's going to happen. So maybe some injuries happen or something, or maybe something works out in their favor. But this, as we mentioned, this is definitely a built roster. So yeah, I'm excited to see what they do. They're going to be fun to watch. MSG is going to be very entertaining. They're going to be very welcome to Kemba too, because people forget, as you guys mentioned.
They're going to be bumping.
Yeah, and he's from New York. I remember that. Andy hit that step back. Wasn't it in Madison Square Garden where he hit that step back?
Yeah,
he went to UConn. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So. Another, and we talked a lot about this last episode, but another really interesting pickup was the pickup for Washington getting Spencer Dinwiddie, and it was a sign and trade.
Yeah.
I can't remember what were the details of the sign and trade, because I know. I gotta look it up here.
I think it was just basically it wasn't a
no.
lot.
I don't think it was a sign and trade. I think it was just he signed just a regular deal.
Yeah,
no, it was a Spencer Dinwiddie sign and trade.
It was a sign and trade.
Wasn't it?
Yeah.
Well, no, you may be right, because I think I saw it was like a 3-team deal or something like that.
Yeah, it was a sign and trade. I know draft picks were included. Good Lord, why can't they just tell me here? I know draft picks were included in it. And we literally talked about the possibility of them getting Spencer Dinwiddie last episode. It puts them in a very, very weird position. What were you gonna say, Carl?
They basically traded away Chandler Hutchinson. Do you know what that is?
Yeah, Chandler Hutchinson got moved.
Oh yeah, dude from Boise State.
Yeah. And the second round pick to the Spurs is a part of a multi-team deal. So it was like 4 teams involved.
Yeah,
that didn't work.
So it was basically a plethora of picks that they were just trading and then
yeah.
Carl, I want to hear your thoughts on this, Carl. Then I'll go.
It's really a good signing. Like him and Bradley Beal get them boys right where they were last year. Probably they might have a better chance to make the 8 seed, but that'd be where they That's what I
No,
think.
for
I
real, for real,
know
for real, for real.
because
Talk to
Spencer
you.
Dinwiddie, Spencer Dinwiddie is a bucket getter. Like he's people. I think people are forgetting. Like I was kind of in a way when the Nets traded, even though they didn't trade him back in halfway of the season, I was just kind of mad at Brooklyn. I was like, you didn't need to make that trade. You had Kyrie, you still have Spencer Dinwiddie. He was healthy at the time, and you had Harrison Burke. I was like, I don't get it, but
Mm-hmm.
you get it to get hard. Is what it is. But I think just people forgetting like the threat that Spencer Dinwiddie is. He can easily give you 20 a night
Yeah,
with ease.
I agree.
I
I think
remember I told Ty a couple. Oh, my bad, Ty.
I think it was a solid pickup. I don't think it puts us over the top, with anything. I'm still on the trade Bradley Beal train. Like I just don't know what position it puts us in, for the next couple of seasons. Does it make us that much more of a playoff contender? There still are a bunch of boxes that need to be checked. That defensively, there's still a lot of boxes that need to be checked. We were horrible. That's why we lost against Philly last season. He's not Russell Westbrook. So we went from Russell Westbrook to Spencer Dinwiddie. How much better of a team are we now? So those are my general thoughts on the trade. Like it was cool, but now I'm looking at the pieces we currently have, and it's like, well, what are we? Where are we at? Where does this put us at? Like this isn't a better roster. Dinwiddie isn't better than Russell Westbrook. So I don't know. It was a solid pickup, and I'm glad to see Spencer Dinwiddie in a different situation. I think in New York, he was going to kind of be held down to like 15 points a game or under. Now you're here in Washington, you're probably looking at being a consistent, maybe like 20 plus per game now, and you're getting paid more money, so that's what I think about it. I don't think it was a major difference maker at all. So, yeah.
62 million 3 years.
Yeah, don't downplay it though. I mean, it's still a great signing. I remember I told you that they were putting it together a sneaky good squad, and I figured the next thing they need is a competent point guard, and that's what they got. So I say wait. I know you saying like I know you talking about trade Brad Beal, all that, but I say at least wait at least one season because Brad Beal is a free agent after the next season, right?
He's free agent after next stuff. So I say wait mid-season to see if you're going to be good and then trade him.
I say wait. I'd say wait. Let this team play, see how they do. And if you're not liking the results, I guess midway through the season, then you go ahead and trade Beal.
Yeah.
But if it's showing some promise, I say don't break it up yet. Just let it go.
Yeah, I really don't know, man, because I don't know. I don't know how well built this team is compared to what they were last season. It's like I said, it's good for Dinwiddie. I think he's the major winner out of this trade. I think Dinwiddie wins more than the Wizards do because now he can be in the situation, to where he's back to being like a second priority offensively. Like remember when he was in Brooklyn, before KD becomes healthy, so I think he's the biggest winner out of it. I just don't think this puts Washington that much above the top, anywhere. So
I don't know. Because like I was just thinking in my head, are they even better than Charlotte?
Yeah, like
that's a good question.
Yeah, and they made like you talk about picking up Kuzma and Trez, that's good, but like I said, what is this team right now? Like what are their goals to be they look like a team that's going to lose in the first round. That's a situation once again where you're like, okay, let's trade Beal and let's just try to rebuild. If you're going to come back just to lose in the first round, no, that's not a better situation than what you were in last season. And I don't care what nobody says, Spencer Dinwiddie relative to Russell Westbrook, that's a downgrade. So
they obviously want to try something. So unless they wouldn't have signed Dinwiddie,
we'll see what
if you're gonna rebuild and sign Beal, then there was no sense in signing Dinwiddie, though.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. But like, I don't think this puts them in any position to where they're better than a first round exit. Like the back-to-back years first round. Now the better thing, maybe they're not a play-in team, but is this? I don't know. So it's going to result in a first round exit to me unless there are some other moves that they can make. And obviously there aren't big time players. There aren't a bunch of big time players left on the market. I know you put that list together today of other guys that are out there on the free agency market, but none of them are going to put.
It's a lot of decent ones. I'll say that.
Yeah, but I don't think any of them are going to put them back over the top, as a legitimate contender in the East. So I don't know. It's to me, it just puts them, that keeps them in the same position than what they were last season. So I like Dinwiddie. I think it's a great situation for him. But I'm not really sure about, what it does for the team as a whole. Like, and if it puts them in a better direction, so we'll see what happens.
Yeah. Yeah, it's still like it's a lot of decent players out there. Like you all were talking about, like Hart still out there, Reddick, Oladipo,
Depot's
Green,
out. Depot's out.
Danny Green.
Oladipo's out.
Yeah, that's true. And then Dennis Schroeder, Reggie Jackson. So it's like,
I forgot about Reggie Jackson too.
Lou Williams is one. That's a good one.
Yeah, so, I don't know how many of those dudes solve any of Washington's issues though. So
none of them.
Yeah, because you were like,
put in a bid for Kawhi or something.
Nah, yeah, that's over with. If he comes to Washington, I'm happy. But to me, it's like we're still a bad defensive team with the worst point guard. And I'm not giving Spencer Dinwiddie. I love Spencer Dinwiddie. He's a hell of a player and one of my favorite shot creators. I think me and Carl were like on the Lakers need to try to get Spencer Dinwiddie trained a couple years back. Yeah, but no, I just think you're still a bad defensive team with one more big guy who's still not good defensively in Montrezl Harrell, who's still undersized at his position. So yeah, it's not much better than what they were the last couple of years. So I'm still on the let's move Bradley Beal train away, or I'm still on the let's trade Bradley Beal away train. That's where I'm back at with it. But I don't know. It was big news, but I thought it was kind of a little bit of an overhyped signing. Just given that I just don't know I don't know where it puts him at for next year. That's better than last season. Like how much better is this roster built this season in comparison to last? So
I can understand that, but the thing I'll ask you all is, what was your favorite signing trade or signing in general? So all three really, signing trade, either trade or just a free agency signing by itself.
Any team?
Yeah, any team player, yeah. I'd say my flat out favorite was probably Lonzo to the Bulls. That was probably my flat out favorite. Like I said, I think they definitely just needed that playmaking and needed to have a defensive edge, and so you get it with Zoe. And also on top of that, just getting DeMar DeRozan. Like they literally just made themselves like a legitimate, maybe Eastern Conference Finals contender, with the moves that they made. So I say those are my absolute. If I had to name my absolute favorite.
What about you, Blake?
I'm torn between Lowry to the Heat and Malik Monk to the Lakers. I know that's not really a big superstar, but I think it's still Malik Monk is still a really good young player.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's between those two because they both bring some much needed scoring, playmaking. Both can create their own shot. I think it's between those two. I think they'll both have a very big impact for their respective teams this season. More so Lowry, because he's going to be in a much bigger role.
Yeah. I would personally say mine, probably these two. DeMar DeRozan going to the Bulls, I feel like that's going to be a very it's going to be an experiment. Of course, we don't know how it's going to work, but I think they'll figure it out because he's a mid-range shooter. I think he'll figure out some way to space the floor. And then I would say it's between either Kyle Lowry and Melo. I feel like, I say Kyle Lowry because I feel like this Kyle Lowry is kind of underrated. His game is. Because I feel like a lot of people don't really realize he's a 20 points per game scorer, and he can really shoot threes at a high clip and space it for a lot. And he's tough. Like, he's really a tough guard.
Miami could definitely use that boost. As we mentioned, offensively, they had a point where they just were horrible on that end throughout the season. And, so I think he definitely helps them out. And also the Oladipo signing helps too. Like, I remember when they got Oladipo from the Pacers, like mid-season, we talked about how much better he can make them offensively. And, it never really came to fruition because obviously he got hurt, but, let's hope now he's healthy. So yeah, like I said, a lot more stuff could happen in the next couple of days. I'm definitely excited to see what else takes place. But we had a crazy last couple of days. Once again, y'all do not forget to subscribe to the YouTube, download us on Apple Pods, download us on Spotify, like our videos, comment under our videos. We had some technical difficulties throughout the episode today, but we'll definitely be back.
We'll get it fixed. We'll get it fixed.
We'll get it fixed and taken care of. But thanks to y'all for tuning in and keep sending in those questions. Those are great questions today. And like I said, man, download, like, subscribe, all of that stuff. And we'll see y'all on Monday with episode number 4. Monday.
Yep.
All right. See y'all then.
Running it up.
Yes, sir.